A very good morning, all of you. I am extremely delighted to be here addressing this very august gathering at the second edition of Republic India's Women's Summit, which is very relevant and very timely because just yesterday we celebrated the 10th anniversary of our Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao campaign, which was started by the Union government under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji. So I compliment the entire team of Republic India for hosting this very prestigious event and through a series of sessions which you will be having during this day-long summit. I'm sure a very meaningful exchange of ideas will take place. So once again, many congratulations to Republic India, Arnab ji, everybody who's a part of your team. It gives me immense pleasure. Well, as I stand here on the occasion of this Women's Summit, I would like to begin by talking about the dream of a Viksit Bharat, which has been envisioned by our Honorable Prime Minister, a visionary and dynamic leader, Shri Narendra Modi ji. And as India is marching ahead towards creating a developed country by the year 2047, the role of women, which is our Adhi Abadi, our 50% of the population, becomes extremely important. And Prime Minister always believes and repeats it on several occasions that the progress of humanity is incomplete without the true emancipation and empowerment of 50% of our population. And when we talk about women's empowerment, it's a shift from the age-old thought of women-centric development. Our government doesn't believe in women-centric development, but we talk about women-led development. Because we believe in the potential of our women, and we believe that they have the capacity to contribute to nation building. So women for us should not just remain in the role of being passive recipients of the fruits of development which is taking place, but they must come forward and lead this journey of national transformation as we build a developed India by 2047. And this is precisely why we have decided that we will look at every aspect of empowerment of women and how they can contribute towards creating a stronger and healthier India. My dear friends, if you may recall, in the year 2023, when we shifted to our new parliament building, we came up with historic legislation. The 128th Constitution Amendment Bill was presented. The Women's Reservation Bill was passed, allocating 33% of seats in the Lok Sabha as well as the state legislatures to our women to achieve that goal of gender equity in the realm of politics. However, as a legislator, I would say that legislative quotas may have their own importance. I am myself a woman legislator. I head a party. And I believe that more number of women in our legislatures, whether state or parliament, will definitely bring a shift. It is bringing a shift in the mindsets, in the perceptions, and in the political processes. But legislative quotas are not enough. Laws alone cannot address the gender complexities of this nation. So while a top-down approach is a good one, a desired one, what we also need is a bottom-up approach. So we just don't need to focus on empowering women in the lower rung of the society, but we also need to enlarge their roles in the higher levels of decision making. And we have to do both at the same time. It's important that when we talk about a bottom-up approach, women at the grassroots level, they have access to good education, good health care, skilling, training, and opportunities to grow, to become financially independent, to become economically empowered. And that is what we have tried to achieve along with the passage of the Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam. This government has launched a host of schemes in the span of over 10 years. You may be hearing about a lot of schemes in these past 10 years. Let me just quote a few to you to just make you understand how we have tried to change the entire scenario for women who specially belong to the lower strata of the society. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. That's our mission under which millions of toilets have been constructed all over the country. And you can imagine how the construction of those millions of toilets in every nook and corner of the country has ensured the bare minimum dignity to a woman. Especially women I'm talking about who come from those lower rungs of the society. The PM Ujjwala Yojana, there's access to clean cooking fuel. And now there is additional time left with women, which they can use at their will. There is Jal Jeevan Mission. Now we are providing tap water connections in crores of households. Why? Because women primarily were entrusted with the task of making that effort to collect water. So now all that time, energy, everything is saved. It is women who are the largest beneficiary of Jal Jeevan Mission. The Pradhan Mantri Housing Scheme. If you take a look at the figures and if you look closely at the ownership, majority of the owners of these houses constructed under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana happen to be women. So try to imagine the kind of social security that women get when they become owners of a small house. A property is for the first time in their life in their own name. So it's not a man in the house. Who is the owner of the property? So that's the kind of psychological security we have created in the minds of our women. Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. More than 55% of the account holders are women. Pradhan Mantri Digital Saksharta Mission. If you see the number of people who have been enrolled under this mission, more than 50% happen to be again women. And how do you ensure the safety and security of a woman? One-stop centers built across the country. It's a robust network of 750 centers. Our women feel safe with the integrated support and assistance that is being provided to them through these one-stop crisis centers built across the nation in over 10 years of our government. And look at the education, new education policy, where we have a curriculum which is gender sensitive. We're taking care of the health of our women, the education, the skilling, everything. Just yesterday, we celebrated 10 years of Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao Abhiyan. And you would like to know the impact that this campaign has created in the society. The sex ratio at birth, which stood at 898 in the year 2014-15, today has reached 930. That's the power of the campaign and the efforts of the government. And it is not just the effort of one single ministry. Because in this government, every goal is a country goal. It's not a ministry's goal. So when we talk about women's empowerment, it's a holistic approach that is being adopted. So whether it is Ministry of WCD, Women and Child Development, or it is Ministry of Education, or it is Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, it's everybody's efforts put together that we see these figures. We're selling sanitary napkins today with 100% tax exemption. Suvidha sanitary napkin is being sold at the Jan Aushadhi stores at just ₹1. And you can imagine how the affordability and accessibility of a sanitary napkin for these girls and young women has made an impact, especially on our school-going girls who are in the menstruating age, who would drop out of schools when they would start menstruating. Millions of toilets constructed across the country. Now our girls are going to school, staying there. The gross enrollment ratio of girls in the secondary school has increased from 75% to 78%. That's the kind of change we're seeing in the society today because of these concerted and sustained efforts we have made. Stand Up India, Startup India, Mudra Yojana, Lakhpati Didi, Namo Drone Didi. What are these initiatives for? To promote that entrepreneurship spirit. Women are becoming self-dependent. They're making an income. So many of our startups, more than 45%, they have women, young women, who are heading these startups. Lakhpati Didi Yojana, the self-help groups in the rural areas, now they are creating an income of 1 lakh rupee. And it's a milestone in the economic upliftment of our women who live in the rural areas at the grassroots level. We are equipping these self-help groups with the drone technology, the latest advanced technologies in the hands of our women today who are residing in the rural areas. And they can provide agriculture services to the farmers and generate an additional income. That is the approach with which the government led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji works. If I talk about their health, my ministry has taken so many of the initiatives. You would be happy to know that the ANC registrations for women have increased manyfold. Now, minimum 4 ANC for every woman, and beyond that, they have the facility of a specialist consultation on the 9th of every month under the Pradhan Mantri's Surakshit Matritva Abhiyan. The institutional deliveries in India have increased because of the awareness, the efforts that have been made. From 2014 till 2024, from 61% to over 96%. That's how the institutional deliveries have enhanced in India. And what is the impact of this? You see the impact on maternal mortality. You see the impact on infant mortality. You see the impact on neonatal mortality. You see the impact on under 5 mortality. Everywhere, there is a big improvement. I would like to quote some figures for you to understand. Maternal mortality in India, the National Health Policy, when it was rolled out in the year 2017, we decided that we will bring it down to 100 per lakh live births. But I'm happy to say that it used to be 130 in the year 2014-15, and it has come down to even lower than our target, which is 97 per lakh live births. IMR, from 34 per thousand live births to 28. Neonatal mortality rate from 24 per thousand live births to 20. Under 5 mortality rate from 39 per thousand live births to 32. Well, there is so much that has been done in these 10 years. We have tried to even increase the representation of women in the armed forces. Now, Sainik schools are open for admission to the girls. Women are now in the NDA. They have a permanent commission. They are in the combat roles. There is no aspect that has been left behind in the STEM disciplines. Globally, we are at a very high position. We see a lot of our girls in these disciplines today. So in every aspect of life, there is a change, and change is only possible when your intent is right and your efforts are made in the right direction. And this is a government for which the empowerment of women or women-led development is not a slogan. This is not a political slogan for us. It's something which we feel from our heart. It's a matter of commitment for us, and which is why, like I said earlier, that every goal is a country goal. So when we say women-led development, it's a country goal. And it's not just one ministry which is working towards it. We in this government believe in a whole-of-government approach. So all the different ministries across Government of India, they have come together, and in partnership with states, we have tried to ensure that Adhi Abadi, our women, lead a much better life. And not just lead a much better life, they are able to contribute to the bigger dream of creating a Viksit Bharat, a developed India by 2047. We will continue our efforts because we have miles to go, where we are able to attain that dream that we see for the women of this country. But I would also like to add that this is not something that alone is the responsibility of governments. It is a collective goal. And when I say a collective goal, it is the larger community. It is every Indian citizen who has to contribute to this big goal. And we all can contribute in our own ways, big or small. Everybody has a role to play. Women themselves have a role to play. And to all those women who would be listening to us or participating, watching us, I would just say that the first responsibility of your empowerment and your true emancipation lies with you. The journey begins with us. Governments, social workers, media, administration, general public, everybody is in the second circle. The journey begins with me as a woman. I have to begin by loving myself, respecting myself, and believing in my own capabilities. When I do that, the entire world believes in me. And that's when the dream of a Viksit Bharat can be truly realized. With this, I once again compliment Republic India for hosting this summit. And I do hope that this summit sees some very valuable insights coming up, some real meaningful exchange of ideas, and we are able to take forward this collective agenda. My good wishes, and thank you all for having me here and being patient. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.